What if humans disappeared tomorrow? Imagine waking up tomorrow and every human on Earth is gone. No phones ringing, no traffic, no voices, just silence. What would happen to our world if humans suddenly disappeared? In the first 24 hours, chaos would erupt. Planes without pilots would fall from the sky, power plants would shut down, and cities would plunge into darkness. Shopping carts would roll through grocery stores, crashing into each other. Food would be left cooking on kitchen stoves. Cars would swerve off roads without drivers at the wheel. Wildlife would circle above, confused by the sudden quiet. The absence of humans would cause immediate havoc across the planet. But what would the world look like 1 week later, or even 100 years after humans vanished? Keep watching to find out. This is the incredible story of what would happen to our world if humans disappeared. Part 1. The first 24 hours. It's 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. You wake up and everything seems normal. You turn on the TV. The morning news anchors smile back at you from the screen. You pour some cereal and take a sip of coffee. Outside, birds chirp merrily in the trees. Life is good, but there's something you can't quite put your finger on. Something is missing. At first, it's subtle. The mail hasn't been picked up this morning, and the newspaper is still sitting on the lawn. You glance at the clock. Maybe it's just early. You turn on the radio and tune in to your favorite station. Static fills the airwaves. You pick up your phone to call work and tell them you'll be there in 10 minutes. But your thumb hovers over the keypad. There's no service. The phone is dead. And now panic begins to set in. You step outside. Other people are starting to stir in their homes. They, too, seem confused. Some try to call out to others. Their voices echo strangely in the suddenly silent street. The mail truck rumbles past. It's moving on its own. You chase after it, but the driver doesn't respond to your shouts. You run down the road, heart pounding. People stare back at you blankly from behind closed windows. Nobody seems to know where everyone has gone. You feel a chill crawl up your spine. It's as though you're the only person left alive! And then you hear it, a distant siren wailing. In the distance, another joins in. Then, another. Sirens scream across the empty streets. There is no answer. Hours pass. You check on your neighbors, but their homes are empty. You search for answers on the radio, but only static replies. The sun climbs higher in the sky, but nobody is around to enjoy it. You wander the streets, picking up discarded newspapers. You learn that tomorrow was supposed to be a big election day, but now there will be no vote. You continue walking aimlessly. As night falls, you huddle beneath a bridge for warmth and comfort. Where is everyone? The question echoes in your mind. The first 24 hours without humans would bring both chaos and confusion. Planes would crisscross the globe, taking their final flights without pilots to land them. Air traffic controllers would have no answer to the rogue aircraft. On the ground, cars would veer off course, crashing into each other or running off the road. Power stations would sputter and fail, plunging cities into darkness. Without people to feed them, farm animals would trample fields in search of food. Birds would gather in massive flocks, confused by the eerie silence. By nightfall, predators would prowl empty streets, searching for prey. The world would teeter on the edge of total chaos. The question is, what happens next? Part 2. 1 week later. The days pass without a sign of humanity. The full scope of our disappearance becomes clear. The crops die in the fields. Waves crash against the shore, but there's no one to hear them. Rivers flow unpolluted, free from human waste. Untouched, nature begins to heal itself. But closer to civilization, signs of decay start to set in. Parks become overgrown, weeds crack sidewalks, buildings sag without maintenance. Even the strongest structures begin to show their age. Skyscrapers crumble, sending dust billowing into the air. Sidewalks buckle and break. Graffiti defaces what's left of the city's Flocks of birds circle overhead, searching for food. Occasionally, a stray dog or cat darts across the street, wary of the unfamiliar pets who once lived pampered lives now scavenge for scraps, their fur matted and dirty, the absence of human hands to guide them. Robotic vacuums roam the streets endlessly in circles. Their batteries eventually die, joining the growing piles of trash. Further inland, wild animals emerge from the safety of the forest. Deer, rabbits, and even monkeys cautiously enter the deserted towns. They sniff at overturned trash cans, seeking nourishment. Over time, these creatures grow bolder, carrying on where the domestic pets left off. 1 week after humans vanish, most major cities would become unlivable. Without functioning power grids, sewage systems, water treatment facilities, and fire departments, there would be nowhere to go. Roads would deteriorate rapidly, making travel impossible. Trash would pile up in the streets and decay. Streets would become unpaved and wild animals would make their lairs among the rubble. Skyscrapers would lose their battle with gravity and tumble to the earth, reducing the icons of human hubris to dust. Part 3. 100 years later. You stand amid the ruins of what was once New York City. Crumbling skyscrapers scrape the sky, covered in vines and trees. Lush green foliage spills over the broken glass and twisted metal. It's hard to believe that towering steel and glass could ever have dominated this landscape. A century ago, a different world existed here, one filled with crowds of people rushing to and fro, car horns honking, and lights twinkling in every window. Now only ghosts remain. You walk past a decaying Starbucks, its leather chairs ripped and scattered about. Through the window, you can see the skeletons of abandoned baristas slumped against the counter, frozen forever in time. A block further, you spot the rusted skeleton of a double-deckered tour bus. Its last passengers are long gone. Continuing on, you reach Times Square, the crossroads of the world. But now, it's a wasteland. Here, too, nature has reclaimed the space. Flowers and shrubs sprout between the cracked pavement. Vines coil around the base of advertising screens, which are dark and silent. Farther down Broadway, the once dazzling Empire State Building has surrendered to gravity. Only its top floors are visible above the tree line. The mighty Chrysler Building is little more than a roof ruin, its spire snapped off like a twig. Closer to the coast, the Statue of Liberty crumbles in the sea breeze. Her torch is extinguished, her tablet lies shattered nearby. The Eiffel Tower in Paris leans precariously, its metallic bones exposed to the sky. The Colosseum in Rome collapses in on itself, its ancient stones tumbling down like dominoes. Mount Rushmore weathers the ages, the faces of presidents slowly crumbling away. After 100 years without humans, famous monuments would turn to dust. Our greatest achievements would be reduced to rubble. Nature would thrive in our absence. Rolling hills and lush greenery carpet the earth. Rivers flow clean and pure, free from pollution. Fish leap upstream to spawn. Wildlife returns to what was once crowded habitat. Majestic herds of animals roam across the open range. Eagles soar above old cities, their cries echoing in the empty streets. From the ashes of our world, new life emerges. Plants and animals flourish in the absence of human interference. The greenhouse effect reverses. Global temperatures cool as carbon dioxide is absorbed back into the soil and oceans. Clean air replaces the smog of our industrial age. Lush rainforests fill the land. Whales breach in clean, unpolluted seas. Biodiversity increases. With the passage of 100 years, the earth heals itself from the damage we inflicted. All that remains of our civilization are the ruins we left behind. Humans disappear tomorrow. What would happen to our world? We would leave behind a legacy of chaos and destruction. When you zoom out enough, Earth looks like nothing more than a pale blue dot suspended in the vastness of space. Our home, our life support system, our everything, floating out there like a fragile bubble, vulnerable and precious. But what if that bubble were to pop? What if humans suddenly vanished from the face of the Earth? How would our planet fare without us? Would it be better off? Let's find out. Earth without us? Here are 5 ways our planet would be better off without us. Number 1, looking greener. We all know that Earth is sometimes called the blue planet. That's because when viewed from space, our planet's vast oceans dominate the scenery. But another color that dominates the view of our planet is green, the color of lush forests and fertile lands. And while humans love to claim dominion over the wilderness, we actually cover less than 1% of Earth's surface. The rest is wild, places teeming with life. Without humans, these places would only flourish more. In fact, scientists predict that within just a few decades, forests will reclaim most of the land that we currently use for agriculture. So without us, Earth would look much greener. No. 2. Crumbling ruins. Human structures, from skyscrapers to statues to roads, are designed to last. After all, we invest a lot of time, energy, and money into them. But most of these man-made marvels are only possible thanks to human maintenance, and many of them have already started to crumble. Without the upkeep required to keep them standing, most human structures would return to the Earth within just a few years. Eventually, even iconic landmarks like the Great Wall of China would just be another ruin swallowed by the soil. 3. Clearer oceans. There's no denying that humanity has a plastic problem. In fact, according to National Geographic, there are at least 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic debris in the ocean, which weighs an estimated 269,000 tons. This debris accumulates in giant patches and, more worryingly, in the cells and tissues of marine organisms. Even more alarming, scientists estimate that by 2040, there will be more plastic than fish in the sea. Without humans to produce and discard so much plastic, the oceans would be a lot cleaner. Number 4. Brighter sky. Humans love to leave their mark on the world, and nowhere is this more evident than in our skies. Currently, light and noise pollution prevent star lovers from seeing more than a handful of stars in the night sky. And that's if they live in a relatively unpolluted area. According to NASA, light pollution has increased by 2.2% annually for the past 2 decades. If this trend continues, the entire night sky will be filled with artificial light by 2025. Without human activity, the skies would be filled with stars once again. In fact, a study published in 2017 estimated that it could take up to 600 years for the night sky to return to normal after human civilization collapses. Earth! Without us, while the planet would certainly be better off without humans, that doesn't mean it would be without us. We depend on Earth just as much as it depends on us. So, it is safe to say that we need the planet as much as it needs us not to. Here's where we come in. We have the power to change our ways. We can lessen our impact on the environment and work toward a sustainable future for ourselves and the planet. It won't be easy, but it is possible. We just need to try. Now it's time to hear from you. So, what do you think? Would Earth be better off without humans? Let me know your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more mind-bending explorations. Thanks for watching!